So hopefully I can get through this attempt at the deck list without being rudely interrupted by my dipshit of a sister. So, yeah, anyways, it is Mermail deck time. Yes, I am running a lead. Thank you for asking. I'll explain shortly. This is the build that I took with me to the locals today. Went 2-2-1. It was a bit Mind you, though, it was a bit of an experimental sort of deck, trying to run a couple more synchros than usual. It didn't quite work out as well as I would have liked. I mean, it looked pretty decent in the first 2 rounds, and then just sort of thing happened. Probably maybe due to my misplays, but you know, it takes time to get used to a deck. So, gonna go through the list now. So for the big monsters, I'm rolling the lead. Pretty much just because I like beat sticks, and it's just another target for Lind. It can be pretty dead in hand, but it's not that difficult to just pitch it and do stuff. Because like, if you have this and a TS, you can just ditch this, get the TS in, and get the search instead of having to, like, if you're going first, instead of having to like waste something like a infantry or marksman on it. So that's pretty much my reasoning behind lead. It's a nice 2/7 beat stick. It can get over a handful of bits and pieces. 1 Megalo, I am probably going to put this to 2 because I had it at 2 before, and then I decided to go to 1 just to fit some other bits and bobs in. I am probably going to put it to 2, which may sound a bit crazy, but I quite like Megalo because of its it has a bit of a dynamic sort of thing about it. It's not exactly the best thing to draw into, especially when you've got like barely anything in hand. But yeah, like if I and the best part of it, probably the best part about running 2 is that it becomes an easy side out, so that I can just side one out relatively easily. Because thing is, with my siding here, I sided out way too much of the main course bits and pieces, and just did not have any targets for the late game pushes, and it just sucked. So standard stuff. Now we have the triple TS, because that's a thing. Triple Lind. Anybody ask why they're not ultis, I'll just bitch slap you. You don't have to have max rarity of everything. Triple Abyss Pike, because that does that sort of jazz. 1 Turge, because I hate 2 and I hate opening this. I saw one of the other guys who ran Mermails today was running 2, and he went, I think, 2 and 3. I think he no, he went 3 and 2. Yeah, he went 3 and 2 because he top 8. But I doubt it was probably because of the second Turge. Because yeah, screw that. I mean, the only positive out of the second Turge will be extra targets to search out in terms of like level 4s and stuff like that. But it's a bit of a guns a thing. Lantern setup. Roll the double marksman. Even if I wanted to run 3, I don't have the third one at the moment. I mean, I'm flat out trying to get another ulti one to satisfy my OCD. Same thing with my infantries, just the 1 super. Yeah, two infantries is perfectly fine. Some people might like to play 3 or maybe even like 2 marksmen and 1 of these, but I like 2 and 2 because it's nice and sort of balanced. And then dragoons. Dragoons exists. It gets searches and shit like that. And the Muller Glacier. This I saw, I believe, twice. 2 or 3 times. I think 2 of the occasions I dropped it, the opponent had no hand, and then the third one, it got finished. So I didn't actually get its effect off at all today, which kind of sucked. But the fact that it's a 28 beat stick is very much a bonus, and if the person who won Euros can get this thing to work, then there's no reason why I can't. So I mean, I wouldn't be going apeshit about it, like, if I had pulled it, like, if I hadn't pulled it in the pack way back when, but the fact that it's there means just, like, why not? Title's the thing. 1 Aqua Spirit, I literally did not draw this at all. I sided it out every game. I don't know whether that's because 1 is terrible, or whether or not. It sounded to me as if it was just one of those days where shit just wasn't going to go your way. Aqua Spirit is... I think, though, considering I did not see Aqua Spirit at all, I feel like I should keep this in just for the purpose of actually giving it a genuine crack. because, like I said, did not draw it at all. There was no real means to add it, so it's just like, it's kind of eh. Then a bit of a blast from the past, but I chose to run a Deep Sea Diva because obviously it was a synchro build sort of thing. And I basically ran the Deep Sea Diva because of its ease of being able to get a marksman and then go into Armades, which I believe is one of the best, if not the absolute best synchro that the format has at the moment, because you just drop Armades, you can just, you get over Crane, you get over Hands, you get over Honest, you get over Kalute, because there are Blackwing players at my locals, so that's relevant to me. Probably not so much to you, but, you know, Blackwings can be a bit of a thing. So I felt that Armades, being able to get Armades in this deck was pretty effective, and so I decided to run the Diva. It is searchable through Dragoons as well, so it's not like, I don't think it's as bad as Aqua Spirit, so that's a bit of a thing. Then one of each of the Gen X's, again, I believe I saw Undyne a grand total of once, and when I did see it, it was in my opening hand along with a G-Con. So it was literally dead. It was kind of terrible, and in retrospect, I was thinking, if I'm running something that's a bit more synchro based, why didn't I just run two of each? I guess that's just a brain fart on my part, so it just sucks to be me, I guess. Like I said, it was probably one of those days where shit wasn't really going to go your way most of the time. So finishing off the monsters, 2 Veiler, 2 Max C for hand traps. That's pretty much it. They put in, they were relatively effective. I quite liked them. I'm actually quite liking Veiler a bit now, because I'm seeing it a fair bit and I'm stopping some pretty useful stuff. Well, stuff that's useful to them. So for the spells, 2 salvage. I would usually on average see only 1 salvage a game, although mind you, that's because I usually sign 1 out, so I might cut this back down to 1, but I wanted to go with the double salvage here to get back a Diva and go for more synchro plays. That pretty much never happened. 1 MST just because it's there. I don't think I even saw my 1 MST like in game 1. I would just wait until I sighted the other 2 and then I'd started seeing them again. Then Dark Hole and the Soul Charge, they do stuff. Traps, your standard triple Abyss Sphere. Yeah, it's your standard triple Abyss Sphere. Plus the pseudo 4th one in Call of the Haunted. This was kind of meh. I'm thinking of cutting this and the 7 tools for double wiretap, because I saw this once and it was dead. It was terrible. And I think wiretap is just slightly better, especially if I'm going to run 2 of them. So so that was a thing. So I had that and the 7 tools. And then standard stuff, Bottomless, Torrential, Warning, and a mained Blackhorn, because I keep going on a tangent about it. I've only got the 1, why not main it? That's pretty much all I say about the Blackhorn. It's just, yeah. Extra deck, this is where all the weirdness is housed. I run the standard rank 7s, Gaios, Sack, Big Eye. Big Eye, I think, got shafted just about every time I dropped him. Draco Sack I dropped once and it got wing blasted, and I dropped Gaios once against Insectors and he managed to work his way around it, because it was like I was down to 100 after soul charging for 4, and basically if I had used, and I had this in Engineer, if I'd used it to shift that and protect it, he would have just attacked over the Engineer, because he had a 24 Dragonfly thanks to what do you call him? Thingamabob, so that just kind of sucked. Then we have rank 4s, just the Honorarch, Dweller, and Cowboy. Because of the amount of synchros that I was wanting to run in the deck, I could not find room at all for Bahamut Shark or Abyss Trite. I think, though, for the future, I'm probably going to cut down on the number of synchros that I run, if any. Like, if I decide to even run Diva in a future, in next week's build. I kind of would like to, just so I have the option to go into Armades, but you never know. But I should be putting Bahamut and Trite back in for next week's build. So these put in relative work. I saw Dweller once. It got it got warninged. Honor Arc, I think I saw once and sucked up something, and then Cowboy I saw once and got the game winner there because I left him on 100 and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna try you. Rank 3s, Mech Engineer, Leviathan. I saw Engineer once and that was it. That was all I saw for rank 3s. That was pretty much it. Leviathan, in theory, was pretty damn awesome. Would be pretty nice to get back banished by my cards, my banished waters off of title and get that back like a pike and do pitches and stuff like that, but didn't quite happen. And then I won an Armored Kappa, which I saw I think once or twice. I quite liked this because it was another option to go into. It was like to go Diva plus infantry into this, then detached. You have got a 2000 button a pop. That's of course if you don't have an already established board, in which case you could probably go for Armory Arm and swing for a shitload of damage. So that was a bit of a thing. I'm running 6 synchros. I'm running the very obvious Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. That's pretty much obvious in just about all Mermail decks. I ran a Stardust because there were those times when I could go for Diva Infantry, and if I had Dragoons in hand, I could go for that. I believe I had one situation where I could go for Stardust, but didn't do it. I think I went for I think I just went for a big push on that occasion. Black Rose did not see it all. Whenever my opponent had a decent board, I already had a decent board, if not bigger. And if I didn't, then I didn't have the ability to go into Black Rose, so it was a bit of a thing. One Behemoth, if I do decide to keep a level 6 Synchro in the deck, because like if I go Aqua Spirits and Diva, then I can go into this level 6. If I do decide to keep a level 6 Synchro, like next week it'll probably still be Behemoth, but if I play the deck at any point afterward, it's obviously going to be a Goyo Guardian that's going in here, because Goyo is just too strong. But Behemoth was there for the potential of going into this off of a level 4 plus Diva. Didn't happen. Armades, because Diva plus, because what is it? This plus this, really easy to do. You just open it. It's there so that Diva just is a 1 card. Go into this because it's just really strong. Like I said, it gets over a whole bunch of shit like Crane, Hands, Honest, blah 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 blah. So it's really strong. In terms of execution today, this was seen a grand total of once, and it got Void Trap Hole the moment it hit the board. Void Trap Hole being like a kind of crummier version of Trap Hole Nightmare. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's Void Trap Hole. And then the Armory Arm, which I alluded to earlier. I had a play in testing this actually, where I went into this and then used this to go into Honor Arc. The problem was I misplayed so badly because I meant to also use, because I went Diva into Infantry. I was meant to use Infantry to drop a Marksman and overlay for a rank 3 and get Leviathan to get another level 4 monster on the board. It's just that it didn't happen because, yeah, that's sort of a thing. I completely and utterly forgot about it. I actually thought I'd screwed myself over against Gears because I went for a big swing and then I meant to make a Gaios and then I just ended and completely and utterly forgot that I was supposed to drop Gaios, and so that sucked. All he had to do was drop, I believe he had Mark II in his hand. Yeah, he had Mark II in his hand, and then he drew into, what was it, Arsenal. And if he like Arsenal, I was so thankful for that, because if he'd drawn into an accelerator, he'd have won with Cowboy, and that would have pissed me off. So that was a bit of a thing. So that's that tangent done. That's the extra deck done and dusted. Now for the side deck, I ran Double Mation. Didn't see it today. I would like to keep it in there because it is a decent card. Actually, I think I saw it once, but I never got to use it because I pretty much established a board and dominated him. To Swiss Scarecrow, this did save me a couple times. I think I still ended up losing the games in which I dropped Swiss Scarecrow, which sucked. Soul Taker, just a bit of a last minute choice. It actually worked. I managed to hit an Ice Hand with this, because this will make Ice Hand miss timing. And it can also make Gigant miss timing as well, because that's just a sort of a thing. Zombie World, saw this. I cited this against Gigias, and I think that was it. No, I cited it against Boojans, but I never saw it against Boojans. 2 more MSTs, cited it in just about every game, because, I mean, you got to have something to stop freaking macro and shit. So, 2 Breakthrough Skill. Depending on the matchup, I would probably side the Veilers out for this, but in some other cases, I sided something out for it. It wasn't too bad. I'm content with it. 2 Light Mirror. I saw this against the Boojin matchup. First time I saw it, it got tapped. Second time, I managed to cause a bit of disruption until he MST'd it. And then Double Iron Wall, which I surprisingly did not side in at all, but I do not want to side that. I don't want to cut the Iron Walls, because I know that if I do, the first freaking matchup I'm going to get at locals is going to freaking side macro, and it's going to be fucking annoying. So that's it for the Mermail deck. Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual sort of thing. Back when I was building the deck, I sort of had the mentality, keep it as simple as possible, because that's the thing I like about Mermails, is that if you keep it simple, then you should do pretty well with it, just on its own there. I feel like in retrospect, I sort of strayed away from that concept, and so that's why it was all a bit clunky and whatnot. Mind you, everyone has bad days, so I'll have to see what happens next week with the build that I come up with for that. Until then, see you for whatever it is that I do next.